Knock you down once, get back up again. Knock you down 2 times, get up twice as fast. Knock you down 3 times, you might not get back up. Don't slip. Some are just give a raw talent, others just little lost balance, while many still living off highs. I'm wondering how they stay grounded. I done lost friends and lost family, so when you don't see me, how can you? Too many still moving uncanny, and I already got my speech for the Grammys. Could've been a suit in the building, could've been you if you're willing. Y'all still chasing that feeling, and I really gotta wait for your opinion. Used to feel I wasn't shit without weed, but how could any live without me? Can't win without moving our feet. Now you know that beauty's no secret. Insecure and moving indecent. Hey, I just wanna kick it for the weekend. When you rich and it seems so peaceful, but more money, more problems, more evil. I can't lose with the cloak of disguise. Life is great if you rose with disguise. I got so much to say, only so much arrives. Uncertain if a man sheds his soul when he cries. Not sleeping, it's 4 going 5. Now jotting thoughts and it's all exercise. I can't lose myself to this rap shit. I can't lose myself to this rap shit. I can't lose myself and attached it. I can't move myself out this bracket. I can't lose my worth, just imagine if any man moves in his Full Metal Jacket. You ever seen that movie before? Listen, my music wasn't written by Beethoven, Bach, or Schubert. It was written by God and me. Yeah, I wanna be better with emotions. Plan it out and I move so impulsive. Nerves got me shaking. They say it cure with age, but I think they mistaken. While some say it's flagrant, I say it took patience. Long nights alone, coping, no motivation. Drunk by myself with no way to escape when I'm faced with evasive and spacious. Suck a nigga trying to stump my creations. On the path, adversaries observe what it took, how to get a grip behind intelligence. I ain't always have a job and the money got so scarce, so we robbed. They misunderstood, they thought this was a gimmick or fraud. Such a rapport for the ball, born premature, but he still evolved through the trenches in the foghorn. They ignored us, who could paint these pictures with the sawdust. Anything is vivid, take it 4 months. I can't lose, I get too invested in it. How could this be love if there's no obsession in it? How could this be definite with no profession in it? How it feel to hear that you the best, but you been questioning it? When these things don't matter, gotta shake it off. If the game too hot, you gotta take it off. And nobody wanna share, you gotta take it off. No bad moves, I can't lose, I never take a loss. Check. Yeah. Check. Yeah. Hey, yo. The optics change, chopping in the range. I'm spending 160, why you even playing games? If you know you got an option, you ain't even saying names. Only spending what's left over, you ain't even see the change. I started getting money, these niggas acting funny. Tap the shoulders of the guard, my repertoire's never bummy. Still grimy-ist, slimy-ist, good weed, what kind is this? Impact spitting dope raps to fit inside the tiny disc. They ain't know my kind exists, the one, the finest shit. Rare to see a nigga speed it up and then rewind it. Always see them credits, you was better when the climate shit. Architecting, that means you was seeing who behind this shit. Google though, like the Uber go straight to the diamond disc. Used to be pressed, now I'm pressed to get the flyest shit. Press got me fucked up, they wrote me off the highest cliff. Had to get fresh so they watch, know what time it is ballin'. Foggy game turn to alcoholic. Couple shots later, skinny light turning brawling, that's foreign. Still got Aussie money in my wallets. If that ain't self-made, then tell me what you call it. Why? Gotta pay attention, it's a hustle, not a trap. This is for my homies that are broken with a dap. Times are hard to cost, but shit is different when you black. My older haters doubt you, baby, look at where we at. Luxurious life, went with the pen and pad. No doubt we stick and move, I'm on the app, not taking jabs. Seeing fiends lean, held the beams at 14. Anybody knew me then would say I'm living out my dreams. What's city, all we on. We condition, all we on. When you self-made, you know that niggas don't live this long. Open doors for the hustle, I ain't vision where we at. You can see it too, you grinding, niggas still say you whack. Oh my God, it's my word and niggas can't take it back. Now I'm straight, creased up, not picking up the slack. God's energy, trying to show empathy, but they ended me. Harsh when they show me you ain't hard as you pretend to be. Suckers not akin to me, a chopper down in Tennessee. Tentatively intensify this tension, got me really key. Intelligent, I tell you why the white sell like 10 the key. They running tree like 3-6 or 8 ball of MJG. I don't sleep, make these words work for this cold cheese. OD, see them ZZs in them nosebleeds. I'm praying for the older me, it's point game rosary. I'm straight bugging, thinking that I'm higher than I'm supposed to be. Gotta pay attention, it's a hustle, not a trap. This is for my homies that are broken with a death. Times are hard, of course, but shit is different when you black. While all the haters doubt you, baby, look at where we at. I did it myself, self-made. Breaking me down, you bring it up. Self-made, you wanna be far, I never will. Self-made, only you making me stress to kill. Self-made, talent is on, my feelings out. Self-made, I don't know what you're talking about. Self-made, feeling the game, feeling the vibe. Self-made, they running the town, killing us out.
Future-proof yourself. Johnny. Techie ass, off-brand, whole milk drinking, V-neck wearing mother.
They don't like my output or my outlook. I'm an Apple guy anyway. New York's renegade, been afraid to engage in it. Slow at the beginning, touch of the chameleon. Eric got no ceiling, no drive, shit still power steering. No interference, no weak deterrence. We should be concerned about how we tune our spirit. Instead we get embarrassed. How we get your marriage in the image of perfection. When we strive for investments, we all can't be rich, that's just natural selection. I know that hurt a couple of my brethrens, damn. Hey, it's all love, I don't do the slow stuff. I was really broke, nigga, I don't need to grow up. Had roaches in my kitchen, ramen noodles in my cup. When I turned 18 is when I really... Before my neighborhood was gang shit, a bunch of us ran home, they were home scrambling. I was scamming him and his whole family, and then it wasn't random, it's more like a stand-up. Now I'm building fandom, I'm top 10 if I could advance it. 10 years ago, man, they wouldn't even chance it. Vocabulary, that's verbal enhancement. Oh, it's very scary if you gotta bring your mans in. Loaded up a semi, take a photo, now we dancing. And they singing architect, soaking up the bandwidth. I could change the settings, we can settle all the damage. Them shows by the other hoes canceling. If I'm the best, say this shit, don't gas it. Misspell my name and you finna get your ass kicked. More for the masses, I reach for them classes. I'm used to them tactics, I move so old from the musket to the missile. To avoid collision, I pop another pistol. I smoke the nigga with you, ask homie to assist you. Fast forward where you going, I convince you. You got the strength as some other people with you. No excuse if you're present in the physical. If we band together, we can conquer the incredible. Got me feeling like a shumi or an edible. Say you better get it or you put your kiss it better something. On the Peloton, trying to sweat up on the Cinnabon. Far from the ignorant bars, let me get your song. I take upon anyone, that's what they really want. I just put my city on. 50 yards where they really on. Never been a guy that spent no time and no titty long. I was catching vibes, getting by with the CD on. Hanging with the goons, they gon' ride, that's what he be on.
Skinny life, skinny ramen. What is that anyway? Sound like a bunch of bullshit.
All right, what's up? What's good? All right. How we doing, guys? Here we go. There we go. That's better. Morning. Morning, everyone. We back at it again. All right. Who we got here? Micha. Joe Ryan. How's it going? What's up? A little gloomy out here. All right, let me get the chat here. We got Cody. What's good, my boy? How you doing? ACV, Edgar, ¿qué tal? David Pincheira, sigues en Iovia. Nope, ya no más. Estamos aquí volando solos. Algo independiente. Cosas bonitas vienen para todos aquí. What's up, Kogi? Chale. What's up, Seth? Jonathan, Activos, Omar, Joe Ryan. I guess a lot of the educators are heading over there to. I don't think anyone else is going. And I'm not going for sure. Nah. What's up, Steven? It's been a minute, bro. How are you? Gil, buenos dias. ¿Qué tal? Carlos, Jenny, Mylan, Puccini. 50% of the way to passing phase 1. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Good stuff. Hey, yesterday, y'all showed up. We were able to catch a nice move on Australian, on AU, Australian Futures. So, fire. Love that for everybody here. I see we got Gio, Grayson, Emiliano, Argentina. ¿Qué tal, chicos? Hola, hola, Miriam. What's good? Good morning. What's up? What's up, Edwin? Coach, you said you were going to drop how to calculate and trade future contracts with risk management yesterday, but you forgot. No, I need to make that video. I can't just teach it like in one shot. Definitely, that's not like a quick little thing I can do here. But it is something I'm planning on dropping very soon. I have a few things I need to do because of just being independent now, being here. And guys, literally later today, make sure you're locked in on my Instagram. Turn on notifications, even if you need to, at least for the day. But I will be dropping a video that basically, releases the free community. You guys are gonna get access to tons of stuff in there. My YouTube at this point doesn't have as much as in terms of just like step-by-step breakdowns, boot camps, entries, exits, all that good stuff. But in the free community, you guys will get access to all of that stuff. So super stoked for that. Make sure you're plugging in, and I'll be doing a 3-day traders reset, so it's gonna be sick. All right, buenos días a todos. Buen día. What's up, G-Slack? ¿Cómo estás? Ya vas a acostúmbrate de verme por aquí. Oh no, it's on. Yeah, I mean, I'll drop it on Telegram too. Don't worry. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. All right, cool. So let's dive into the market. Good to see everyone here. Let your people know we're live, and we'll be live here tomorrow as well. All right, this is. I don't know why this just keeps. Is this happening for everyone else that trades futures? It just keeps popping up for you. I think it's wild. And okay, so yesterday we talked about how the market could, liquidate these lows, and Dow Jones came all the way back to here. Some of you guys sent me your entries. Some of you took this trade and ran this up. And good stuff, guys. You guys crushed it with this one. Dow clearing those lows. We had NASDAQ also getting, below all of this liquidity, all of basically Thursday and Fridays and Monday and Tuesday, basically all weeks, right? Choppiness, and then ran. So what does that mean for us now? The good thing for us is that this gives us very, very, very clear indications on entries. I mean, it's pretty obvious. If we can get some shorts, then we'll see what we can do, because I do think we can work our way down so that we can get a buy entry down here, whether it's NASDAQ or Dow. So would love to have a sell opportunity here, but if it's not as cleaner as just the way we would like it, then at least the buy setup for sure looks pretty solid over here. So yeah, I mean, let's dive right into it. All right, just making sure y'all can see the screen on point. Yes, and then you guys can see. Y'all see me too. Perfect. Chat's good. Beautiful. All right, perfect. And if y'all have any setups you want me to look at, let me know. Any questions regarding trading, the industry in general, just resources, whatever, just let me know. Buenos dias. What's good, Gio? The boy Gio. Okay, so at this point, let's zoom in. So yesterday, towards kind of I would say after New York Open, we had, let's see here. So Wednesday, we have a quick drop. We chop up again after New York Open. We get another drop, and then we rally. So there's kind of, I'd say, two big sequences of events, which is the initial drop right here, 835. So this is where we really get the massive push down. We consolidate a little bit again, and then we get another final move down before the market rips. So if we wanted to really zoom in here and get just a very precise breakdown on where the market could reverse here, I am more focused on entries all the way down here. We start to drop off here after New York Open. We consolidate again, so another round of liquidity building up here, and then the final move. So definitely waiting on buying opportunities closer in this range. And I'm sure you guys can see this. And then on the higher time frames as well, we get to pinpoint this idea right over here. So you see that on the 15-minute. And then we'll zoom out to the 1 hour. And in the 1 hour, it looks very clear here. Massive. It took, a couple hours, work its way down, plays out of the previous level of structure, slightly into this imbalance. But at this point now, we've been trading above these previous highs for 17 hours. So there's clearly demand over here. Like, it's just very transparent, very apparent. A lot of demand over here. So we continued to move past these. I was originally looking to sell in this zone, but considering that we price action just became so bullish in here, and definitely even more bullish than Dow Jones, I decided to stay out of any sort of shorts here. There's still another round of sells that I was waiting for up here, and specifically right here. And this goes all the way back to March 27th. So here we had a nice sweep and everything dropped. It's got pretty close, so maybe not really worth anything here. I think I'd rather just keep trading on the small time frame, wait for that to play out. But let's zoom in on NASDAQ and see what current price action looks like, because we did see the market start to create equal highs, start to move sideways, so we see, and then we see the market sweep these highs. Entonces vemos una captura de liquidez aquí y nos viene haciendo un bajo nuevo. So us having this type of movement, could we be considering a sell right here? Because this is one push up, and then the market liquidates all of these lows, clears out, the majority of London session lows. So getting a short in here might not be a bad idea. Now remember, this would be a counter trend trade here. So we would be going over, or going against the flow of the current. The 5-minute has us with higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, currently making those higher lows. And even then, in my opinion, I think that we could probably get down to here anyways. Looks like a nice little, we had a nice little push down here before the market rallied. You can make the argument that maybe this mitigated, but there's definitely imbalance here. So I think we can work our way down at least to here. So having this with NAS, yes, on the smaller time frame, like literally on the 1 minute, we do get our lower lows, and we traded down here now for almost the last hour. So it's not bad. With a trade like this, I think you want to be careful, especially with the divergence. So is NASDAQ more bullish, or is Dow Jones more bullish? And as I'm looking at the market here, NASDAQ looks more bullish in today's price action. It looks like things are just moving forward, moving upwards faster. You see NASDAQ is currently trading above the last price action for the last hour or so. And when you look at Dow Jones is still trading down here. So it looks like Dow is kind of moving at a slower pace. It's been way more bearish. So if we're looking for any types of shorts, I'm definitely leaning more towards selling Dow. However, the downside of this Dow short is, again, same thing. You're going against the trend, against the higher time frame momentum. And this does look relatively efficient though. So you see the pullback, drops, the market fills this imbalance, drops, fills this imbalance, drops. The only argument I could see that might clear it is that you could say, well, is this building up kind of like a trend line? So kind of, but either way, I think this looks pretty good. I think if you wanted to take a lower risk approach at this, I don't think it's a bad idea. No, we're losing. I'm being disconnected, right? Fuck. Why? Alright, hold up. Okay, hold on. Let's see. What can we do here? See, y'all seen? Okay. Huh, or is it fine? It shows that it's pretty low, but it might be running through still. Buenos días, ¿qué tal, Alfredo? BTC on a mission? A good mission, or what kind of mission? Let's see. I don't even know if you guys are getting my messages. We see you, it's just choppy. Well, we can't have that. We need the best. Looking to long US30 on the 1 minute. What's your, like, where? Here? Something like this. This little drop and rally. Tom Cruise mission. Let's see, camera off. That's not a terrible idea. It's like zoom, turn your camera off. Let's see. Actually, I think that might work. Yo, that's hilarious. That totally worked. All right, I guess I'm too beautiful for the stream. YouTube didn't want to get everyone else jealous, so it is what it is, I guess. Oh, it dropped back down. Damn, it only worked for so long. All right, cool. So this is better. This is fine. So okay, yeah. So we're seeing. You guys can clearly see the market moves choppy. You get a much bigger move right there before the market then drops. So I can see us having a good short right here. I'm gonna go dual screen for everybody here so that we can kind of get a good idea on whether we get a good short here or not, and see how these things compare. If Dow or Nas gets here a lot, okay, whoa, that changes a lot. Now we're seeing Nasdaq a bit more bearish. So that's the big thing, is I want to take a sell on an idea that gets up to here last. So right now we're seeing Nasdaq at a 38.2, below 38.2 pullback, and then we're seeing US 30 around a 23.6. So even now it's still a little bit slower to, like, Dow is still slightly more bearish. So we'll keep this in mind. Let's see here. And basically what I do in these situations is I start to calculate my lot size and my contract size for both. So I'll have, let's say I'll have both setups here, and then I'm looking at, okay, can we just be ready for either or? So I'll start to mark this up over here. So this way, when the time comes, we can. Let's see here. Okay, so we're New York Open, just like that, market's cooking. So we're seeing both starting to pick up some momentum up here. Now NASDAQ actually losing momentum a little bit quicker. So at this point in time, let's see. So Yamane, you got a long at 49.55. That's where you want. That's kind of the zone that you're looking at. I can kind of see it. I think NAS is kind of similar too on that. That's like you're looking at like a 15-second type of a trade in here. Oh, this is so annoying. Let me know in the chat if it's cutting out, if I'm chopping up. I believe that is the case. So, look, we've now come down to this level. We're at this point here. It looks like it's pushing through first. So, Yamane, for your setup, I wonder if you're going to get NAS to work its way a little bit lower as well to this exact kind of idea that you see. I think you're looking at kind of a trade right here. Now, this does require a very tight stop. I think the probabilities of losing are also a little bit higher as well. I'm not taking this idea here, but I see your point though. You know, I definitely see kind of what you're looking at. And look at this, the divergence. Dow Jones way down here, and you have NASDAQ, you know, right in this zone. So NAS might give you a shot at this here. All right. But like I said, you're going against a lot of momentum, so I wouldn't really go for it. Okay, cool. So like I said, wasn't going for this at all. But you know, sometimes those play out. So I definitely see why you wanted to take that. Here though, now looking at where NASDAQ got to, this is where I thought, okay, could we get an opportunity with NAS to take a position from these lows, and we got there, right? And wow, this gave us no chance. This is what I wanted to take with you guys. Okay, well, did anyone take this idea on NAS? As you guys can see, the market is alive and well right now. So got the reaction here on NASDAQ. I'm not chasing this. This already did its thing. I was literally probably 3 seconds away from pulling the trigger. And so, yeah, had a really great movement. So to take a step back and for us to kind of recognize, okay, what does the market really look like right now? What is really happening here? We saw a push down into this zone, clear liquidity, as you guys had seen here, get to the imbalance, and it closed off this sell-off. So this is that smart money sell-off before it ran. So we had this here marked up, and clearly NASDAQ is much more bullish. Did anyone take this by any chance? Was anyone ready to just pull the trigger? There's a lot going on. So unfortunately, in times like this, sometimes even though you have the right zone, you have to be able to execute at the right time. Okay, let me know. Did anyone take NAS? And this already gave a good reaction, so looks like this would have been maybe a 20-point stop, and then you probably already saw this go at least a 2R, if not more. NAS buys, I'm in. NAS buys, no, I didn't see it. I'm in, trailed my stop loss too close. Okay, cool. So NAS seems to be more bullish in today's structure. And Dow, on the other hand, Dow is actually holding up very well on the sell side of things. So way more bearish. So at this point, based on how the market looks right now, I definitely prefer the sells that we had here marked up with Dow. These are looking like they probably can play out, especially if we see Dow just maintain bearish structure. Yeah, it was fast, guys. I mean, realistically, you would have to just know, okay, 20-point stop. Let me take that. Plus, I know we were focused on seeing if we were going to get here. So we had basically both opportunities rolling. But the good thing is, you guys are learning how to identify these types of setups over and over again. And yeah, we'll see. Now, here's the thing. This already reacted. I'm not looking to get in again or anything like that. I don't have any desire to do that. One of the things that I think we could see here is, sometimes the market does this breakout, it pulls back, it gives you the good old break and retest, and then it rips again. Now, this is happening too fast for me to feel like, oh, okay, yeah, let's definitely take that, let's take that setup. Not really feeling it, but I swear I thought I clicked this. But yeah, I know for those of you that use volume, I think you can make decisions a little bit easier when you're seeing like these quote unquote shakeout setups. I just have it hit. That's why. So here you guys can kind of see. Oh, is it? Oh, that's interesting. So you kind of choose. Oh. So look at that. Now Dow picked up tons of momentum while Nas is chilling. So look at that. They're flipping direction right now. That's really interesting. So even now, all right, just to give you guys some perspective, the market's got lower volume, but just right at these prices again. This is a sign that, okay, the market could definitely make that next move back to the upside, which is what it's doing right now. This is that good old break and retest that lures in sellers one more time before the market just fully rips. And now we're seeing it pick up momentum, okay? With how the market's set up right now, look at this, guys. And here's my question. I want to see who is understanding some of these concepts. Which setup would you want to short? NASDAQ or Dow Jones? NASDAQ or Dow Jones? Yeah, you chose the wrong time to go to the bathroom. This is like the absolute worst time to do that. NAS, right? Yeah. All right. So NAS is the short that we're looking for. We want to make sure, this is where you want to. We're seeing it have a harder time going up, and right now this is where we saw the indices flip. Because at this point, we've now seen Dow Jones become the leading bull, and NAS is lagging behind. Big time. So at this point, yeah, there's a much better chance at getting a good shorting opportunity over here. At least the way that it is right now. We're barely pulling back to the 38.2 here and currently under, while Dow Jones is absolutely flying. And based on the way that this is moving, and let me just delete this so you guys don't get confused. Básicamente, chicos, estamos esperando ahora posicionarnos con la venta, con Nasdaq, no con C30. And okay, so what does this now look like it could become on Dow Jones? It seems like the move that we saw with Dow is now, and let me just go one screen at a time now. I'll pull up the other chart when it's time. But now you guys can see if Dow Jones actually holds structure and confirms demand, we could actually be looking at a totally different trade, because this could potentially be the liquidity sweep. This gets below all of the buys, right? This sweeps London session buyers, and a good amount of Asian session retail buyers, and then it rips. So at the moment, this drop that we saw here could become buy scenarios. However, for my confirmations, again, right now this is a tug of war between the bears and the bulls, and in order so that I have conviction on any sort of trade, I need to see the market trading up here. I need to see us have price up here, confirm that we're actually trading above the previous highs, give us an idea of where price really has demand. If it does, then okay, cool, I'm down for a buy. If it doesn't, then I'm just gonna have to keep waiting. So that's kind of where we're sitting at right now, is just waiting. And we saw a lot of momentum really pick up over here. So let's see what the market looks like. But Dow Jones has the chance to create a bullish setup. It has the chance. Right now what we're seeing is Dow here, right? Worked its way over here. Cool. NASDAQ over here. Still much more bearish. So it did the initial movement, the initial mitigation. The sells turned into buys, and then this kept working its way lower. And it's still going lower. Could it be that it wants to play out of here? Maybe. We might be getting that might be the kind of movement that it's looking to make. Here you guys can see a little drop. All right, right over here. And then you guys have another drop over here. But is NASDAQ where you want to put your attention? It's dropping very aggressively. You have a better shot at Dow continuing its path than you do with NASDAQ, in my opinion. But we're seeing that rejection with NAS because of those, the market basically, as you guys look at how indices move, the market is constantly seeking to become efficient, and it's constantly seeking to close out any open positions that it has left behind. Because these are just, like, for example, right over here, these orders that you see, like something like this, where you kind of see the market clear some of these lows and then run, like the market wants to rebalance these moments, wants to rebalance price. So that's why it moves the way that it moves. So now, again, it cleared below these lows, got back into the imbalance, and then all of a sudden it's kind of getting everything back together. So for me, there's not enough movement here to say like, oh yeah, we should be taking positions. Not at all. I have zero interest in taking buys over here with NASDAQ. And if we take a look at Dow, Dow cleared liquidity. Cool. But is there any other entry that I like over here in the market? This is towards the end of the day over here. So we can go and take a look back over here. So let's go check this out. We can go and see, was there a sell-off before the market ran? Could there be a, smart money sell and then the market moves? So let's say, for example, here, this was yesterday's end of New York session. And you do see the market drop here. Look at this. This was the big move here. Look at it. You can even see it with the volume. Literally last 15 seconds of that hour. So you see a big sell-off. All in the zone. Okay. So here, see the market drop, you see it go up, you see it come back down, and then at the end though, all of this is just pretty light, it's not a big rejection. It doesn't look like oh, we close out the sells and the buys are now open. It's very mellow and it continues here. So could there be a reversal in the zone? It's possible. Is this where the market could eventually get to? Also possible. So now, going back to what we got going on here, we clearly see a big rejection here. The market tries to make higher highs. At the moment, it's not really proving to me that we're quite bullish yet. As we look at NASDAQ, similar here with NASDAQ, NASDAQ isn't quite proving to me that we're, time to take any buys. What's very clear to me is the sell over here, where we took out these highs, and then we started to work our way back down. So at this point in time, we're seeing NASDAQ again working its way up between 38 to 50%. Dow Jones, it's got that pullback as well. In my opinion, we're going to just stay tuned with what these want to do. Similarly, Dow Jones between 38 and 50%. NASDAQ roughly still a bit more bearish. So keep these in mind. Right now, one of the things that we're noticing as the hour evolves is that that second push that we had was to get to these levels from Asian session imbalance. We noticed that Dow got to this Asian session imbalance first. So Dow dropped first into the zone. NASDAQ then had to get there a little bit later. And I think that's why we're now seeing, now that NASDAQ became and rebalanced this, now it's like, okay, cool. Now we can go about our day here and we can start to, move on up. So at this point now, again, if we start to see a shift in momentum and go bullish with NASDAQ, then we could start to maybe look for buys on that side of things. So here we saw how the market started to drop below. Here's the 15 seconds so you guys can see it even more clearly. You see it drop, go up again, another drop, and then rally. So this area here where we see that last sell-off, if the market creates the higher highs, it shows us demand, right? Bullish demand, then we could be looking for a trade in there. So NASDAQ came into the zone, rebalanced, has continued to move on up. Here now, basically we're waiting to see, okay, is it going to stay bullish or not? And right now, NASDAQ is pulling back almost at that 618. Dow Jones is just chilling. Dow Jones froze. Look at that, just froze. So now, again, it's flipped. And so let me ask you guys, if you were going to sell, would you sell Dow Jones now? Or would you want to sell NASDAQ? NASDAQ is at a 618 pullback from this high. Dow is at a 50%. A lot of chaos on the small time frame and trading the small time frames. Today, at least. Today, it's very chaotic. The switching, one's more bearish, one's more bullish, one's more bullish, one's more bearish. So definitely, exactly, whatever ends up lagging. Entonces, hemos visto mucho caos con los índices arrancando. Al final del día queremos ejecutar el que está básicamente aquí moviéndose, el que llega a la zona de último, ya que son básicamente la misma entrada. Y eso es lo que queremos hacer. Entonces, sea NASDAQ, sea UC30, es lo que esperamos. So at this point, because they're back at being so close, I'm going to have these here side by side. Okay. All right. So that's indices. While those are doing their thing, I'm gonna look at some other things. And I mean, and it's no surprise. We're setting up, and we're about, less than 10 minutes away from the next high impact news event. What day is it? Thursday? All right, cool, perfect. So check this out. We have news in less than 10 minutes, and then tomorrow, on top of that, we have NFP. So tomorrow I'll be doing a exclusive NFP session as well. So I'll be actually live way earlier. I'll be live before NFP. So make sure that you have, your notifications on and you're subscribed and all that good stuff, so that you can be live for NFP, high impact news event. So we'll be locked in for that one too. Word. Percy waiting for a bullish imbalance to happen on NAS to see if I can buy. Yeah, perfect. So right now, looks like if Dow gets here first, then I'm gonna short NASDAQ. It seems like that's what it wants to do. I feel like the news event is what's going to actually end up triggering the idea. So we'll see. So right now, there's kind of multiple options we'll have, and it all is based on how the market ends up making its last movement. So look at that. It's just ripping. Dow starting to move its way there. Looks like Dow's leading. It's already up to here. It's above the previous high. NAS still chilling over here. Okay. It's like teasing. With the short, whichever one it ends up being, I'm going to take it only within the range though. So if, let's say I sell NASDAQ, then NASDAQ, I'll only take it into this imbalance. So, and it looks like it's going to be NASDAQ. Looks like maybe a 20 point stop, a little bit under, actually closer to a 15 point stop. And then from there, take it to this zone. So I think still we could get about maybe 80 points or so. So I think we could still get a pretty good trade here. Looks like it could be something like this. And then see this work its way down over a 4R. I think looks solid. Yeah, and this is tight, so seems like that's going to be the case. Look, NASDAQ here, just building up tons of liquidity, luring in tons of retail sellers. And we have Dow already trading up here, having a hard time coming back down. So I think that, I think it looks like NAS is going to be it. I wouldn't buy NASDAQ. I wouldn't, but obviously you guys do whatever you want. And this looks like the setup for me here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to set up my sell limit. It looks like it's going to be NAS. All right. Okay. Have a little alert here. About 5 minutes out. And then, let's see. Okay, so here, now that the market's rebalancing at the moment, and it's, you know, it's working its way down first, I know there is the desire probably to buy here. I won't be, just because I see the market with Dow that could just keep working down, come down to here even, and so I'm not necessarily looking to press any buttons there. It could even work because, you know, well, Dow just is going to rebalance this structure, and then NASDAQ just goes and runs. So it could work. However, it could also fail. And I like to trade my system, my setups, my probabilities. I say no to a lot of opportunities, you know, and because they're not really opportunities. It's just like you want to make money now, so you go, yeah, I mean, this could work, you know. And then if it does, you're like, you know, there's like relief. It's not like, okay, cool, that made sense. And if it doesn't, you tell yourself, I knew better. I should have just waited. I should have waited for my confirmation and all that good stuff. And so that's really the big thing for me, is to have that. That's like what I keep in mind. Now, in regards to the buy setup, we were up here, we worked our way down, we came back up again, and you know, we traded above these highs. So there's definitely demand above this zone for sure. And so if I wanted to take a buy, it would be with Dow. Dow is the one that would be a buying opportunity, and that's really it. So if you wanted to set up a buy, then that's a totally different setup there. As well. So now we had a pullback. You see Dow Jones between the 50 and 618. And you're seeing NASDAQ already at this 23.2. If the news event decides to bring the market down, then this makes a lot more sense than anything else would. And if we want, we can even zoom out. You see here, right? Here's where we have some structure, 40, 90, 10, some resistance, etc. So for the buy, if the buy is something that you guys are seeing, I think, yeah, somewhere over here makes sense. All right, somewhere below the liquidity into this imbalance, like right around here. Look at that, just melting through below that 38.2 right now. You got the news event in 90 seconds. NASDAQ is not the buy. NASDAQ failed to make highs and actually created liquidity, so there's still motive for price to come up here later. Dow Jones basically came up, created liquidity, came up again, held up here, creating more liquidity. So you're seeing a lot of buyers are being lured in right now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we clear this again and then get a reversal. And then, yeah, 1 minute till news strikes. So yeah, I'm looking at the buy like right around here, something like this. And then seeing this run, got an easy 3R. I think NAS is going to want to clear liquidity if this does play out. So this should drive us actually even higher. Could be a really good setup. Whoa, just blasting through. Just triggered me in, I think. Or it didn't. Wait, why didn't it? Whoa, yo, this thing went crazy. Let's go. All right, so move your stop to break even for sure at this point in time. My question is, why didn't this trigger? Damn. Anyways, I mean, take profits hit over here. If you took it over here, like at the initial exit, even now, you could definitely take your money home. But worst case, move your stops to break even. I'm not sure why my trade didn't set up though. That sucks. All right, whatever. At least you guys made some money. So cool. We rebalanced here. It looks like Nas may have a shot at clearing that liquidity. That was super fast. And yeah, question: did you guys get triggered in? Maybe it was slippage or something on my end, but bummer. Well, on to the next one. So yeah, how are you guys managing this one? You should have had time to have it play out, to have it triggered and everything like that. Did you take your exit in the imbalance? Did you go for the higher high? Do you ever trade both? No. It's doubling your risk. I had a pending order, but it just didn't work. I got scammed. You speak from my heart. I knew it. Every time I knew it, just greed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this right now, we're trading on the 1 minute, being aware of all the higher time frames and then working our way back down. So that's what we're trading on though, I guess, to go into the smallest time frame. So did anybody take this? Anyone take the profits? I know for many of you, your exits are 2R, 1.5R, 3R. Some of you your exit is trade in an exit in an imbalance. So yeah, that's what I wanted to see more than anything right now. I got a 2R. Beautiful. And are you holding still? So yeah, this was instant. And isn't it like, so showing you guys and walking you guys through these setups all the time, doesn't it become easier and easier to trust the system, the entry model? Like you just see it play out like this all the time. Now, low key kind of pissed because I don't know why mine didn't play, like mine just didn't trigger. But let's see, 49, 15. Hold on, let me see here. Orders, pending. Canceled by system. I don't know, whatever. So anyways, if you're still holding this, then good job, guys. Well done. Now that it rebalanced here, I do think that it can go to this next level. But at this point in time, this trade is sitting at just about a 3R. The spread was big right before news. Maybe that's why it didn't trigger. Yeah, maybe. Cool. Seems like nobody really took this one. Yeah, it just didn't register. I didn't even see it on my chart, so it is whatever. It doesn't matter. Cool. Might have been too fast for everyone to set up. Is that the case? Or are y'all just secretly making profit and just like, I'm just gonna keep it to myself? And you know what? I respect that if that's the case. Good thing is, I know you guys are learning and you guys are understanding how these things are playing out. So, happened too quick. Yeah, that's what I figured. But I mean, we were talking. I guess, yeah. You only had a few minutes to kind of set it all up while I was playing out. So to continue what we were looking at over here, though, the NASDAQ idea is still valid. So eventually, because NASDAQ is still making lower lows, it's still kind of, if anything, confirming more and more our original idea, which is just how bearish this has become. Every time it drops, though, it's just literally not. It just refuses to stay down here. So there's definitely bullish. This wants to keep running, and so whenever it is that we get up here on NASDAQ with NASDAQ here, and I need to drop some of these. We don't need all this in here. Whenever it is that we end up getting up to here, I think I am going to be looking to short, and more than likely it's going to be, again, a pretty minimal exit. I think I'll be taking my exit around 40 or 19,950. So if the market gets up to here, I'll take my short. Once it reacts, move my stop to entry. It may just bounce off of here and just keep running. If it doesn't, and then it keeps working down, then I'll take my exit down here. So that's kind of my game plan here with this. Right now, Dow Jones 4.44R. I'm in profit. Let's go, Giovanna. Can't trade news. Rough. Too fast. Pretty quick with great call. Yeah, that's what I figured too. It's all good. So I'm not looking for shorts on Dow. And then gonna wait it out with NAS. So this imbalance, I think, is a good place for exits. If you are gonna hold this, and I think there's honestly a pretty good chance you're gonna see liquidity probably get swept here, and then see this rip. So you've seen this rip over here. That's probably can lure in or just keep pushing NAS to the entry that we have here for the short. Beautiful. I'm happy that the stream was able to continue here, and we didn't lose we got a little choppy there because of the camera, I guess, earlier. Let me see. It's okay. I'm gonna look at some of the currencies, and then I'm gonna stream in Spanish for a bit here after I'm done. So I'll do a Spanish stream. Voy a hacer aquí en español un rato después que termine aquí. So yeah, I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna go in English probably another 15 minutes or so. Go over the currencies, some metals, a little bit of crypto, and then we can go from there. Bitcoin above 96, fire. Fantastic. Looks like, yeah, it was working. Cooking. Crypto, let's see, what's moving today? VRA pumping today. Virtual still gone. Dog about to hit 003. Nice. So it looks like some of these base meme coins are pushing. Injective, Brett, Caspa running some more. Nice. Immutable, slow, relatively slow, but still moving on up. Yeah, it looks like bullish across the board. Fantastic. All right, cool. Just wanted to see what was going on there. All right, let's look at the majors. So yesterday we took Australian dollar all the way up here. The secondary exit played out going into this area for a little over a 3.3R, and then we actually ended up getting all the way up to here. Looks like it mitigated or wanted to close this move, and it did, and then now it's working its way down. So AUD USD at the moment, let me turn off volume. At the moment, this is swept equal highs. So we see a nice sweep here. So we see a nice move. Clears this. And then it makes its way down. Nice. Right over here. It's very, very transparent that when price comes up, the motive behind this move over here is not a higher high. This is just to liquidate sellers, and then we see it, especially with the way that it's moving down. So Australian dollar, definitely more bearish. Now what I'm curious to see is this going to be the best setup though? What did NZD do? NZD, USD also cleared these highs, not by too much more, but it definitely still did. So we saw a similar movement here, but a lot more aggressive. Aussie's move was a lot more aggressive, so gonna just keep this in mind. Have an alert set up, so if we do come back over to this zone, definitely might be, we'll keep this in mind. We'll keep shorts in mind here. NZD dropping at a more aggressive pace. So it's more bearish, and we saw the momentum really start to pick up around here. So could we see NZD still look to short? Yeah, I don't think we've mitigated NZD either. So one of these two, I'll have my alert as well. Here you see NZD also get above these highs. Actually guys, let me do this. Let me pull up the futures charts, just so we have very precise. Okay, yeah, so Australian futures is exactly what we talked about. And then let's see what New Zealand futures look like. Yeah, so they're basically the same. Okay, cool. Just wanted to confirm. And then now we had so I know this is something that maybe you guys are kind of looking at and thinking, should we buy here or something? But we had a nice sweep down with AUD USD here. So let me just change this. Okay, so Australian does its thing, cool, but it does its last sell-off before it goes higher. So it does this. Okay, so now we're in a little ping pong situation here. The downside with Australian though, and it's kind of playing both ends, it's not really giving lower lows. There's really no demand down here, but it also isn't really doing much over here. So then we look at NZD, which is doing more of the same. So if we look at this, we got similar situation to what we're getting now. Okay, go to here. Are we getting 1 hour changes in time frame? No. In structure? No, we're not. Are we getting the 5-minute change in structure? Yeah. So the smaller time frames, yes, we're seeing a shift in momentum. And when the higher time frames are not giving us something like that, for me, that just tells me, okay, I don't want, and I'm not going to be, I don't have an aggressive exit. You can trade within the range. So for something like this, with what we're seeing here, I wouldn't force my my setup too much. I think it's got a good chance, and you can take it to liquidity like you're seeing here, maybe even up to here. I could see that, but I wouldn't push my luck too far. This is what this looks like at the moment. Australian trading a little under that 618. Now you can look at NZD. NZD also has a very similar setup. NZD right now more bearish. Look at euro. Euro's melting relative to the rest of them. So definitely more bearish, dropping. Euro, man, I wanted to sell euro, but it just didn't give me a shot. Wonder if we'll get there. And then GU, okay, now this is where I think we get maybe our best chance at a buy. GU dropped beforehand. Downside with GU, however, is that it's just creating liquidity over here. So right now, if you guys look at, for example, these are trading a lot different than we're seeing, like the Australian, the Asian session, AU, those are trading very different. Pound has been bearish until it's not. So although this looks kind of like a decent setup, I think there's too much liquidity building up to take anything here. And then, guys, my bad, for Dow, right now Dow is still pushing on up. So if you guys are looking at exits, I think you're at a good place. Conservatively, this is fantastic, you know. NAS looks like it can still eventually work its way higher, so we'll stay mindful there. So yeah, right now, out of everything that I'm seeing with these pairs ending in the dollar, I'm leaning more towards AUD USD for that buy. And nothing else there. Now with USD CAD, it finally got the breakout that we talked about. So it finally broke outside of this liquidity. All right, we were squeezing, so it finally gutted all of these buyers from all of last week. And then broke below, sat here for a little bit, little break and retest type of vibe. Same here, break and retest type of vibe. Is luring in sellers. Okay? Luring in sellers around here. Now the question becomes, is it gonna stay here? And there's two things that we can look at here. One, you see the massive movement that we had here from yesterday. So nice spike up. And then the market comes crashing down. So we see this bad boy. You see it loud and clear. Market clears some resistance, previous highs, gets right into the zone. Okay, so it gets right below this. So could the market short here? From there, it dropped, and then it traded all of Wednesday below during Asian session, and then only during London session we kind of start to pick up again. So I don't think this is a bad setup. I don't think this is a bad setup at all. And if we want to look at it from a different perspective, then you can look at it with Canadian futures. And with CAD dollar futures, it's a similar scenario here. It actually looks better to me. Here you get the big move down. We'll go like this. See the market from here, sell off. And then rip. So yeah, I think we got to get below these lows and then see a setup in here. So I definitely think that the Canadian dollar is going to start picking up some strength. First, we should see it drop and then pick up some strength. So I'm looking for definitely a nice little setup over here. So yeah, Canadian dollar futures for my futures traders. Mark it up. You can see it very clearly. For my CFD traders, the short here looks good. Questions? Y'all good? Y'all learning? Got a cheeky 2-to-1 short on Dow from the entry area. Short. Why? NASDAQ down to 19,700. What's up, Cozy? Got the little bro in the house. Yeah, so with Nas, basically right now, this is what I've been waiting for. I wanted to short up here, short above 2015, and then see if we can get a nice move down. I don't think I'm gonna go for that big of a drop. 19,700 sounds nice. On the higher time frame, I think it looks nice. Getting into this imbalance, playing off of this structure, but the reason I'm not committed to a longer sell-off like that is because this isn't really proving that we have enough demand down here. So below 19.9, yeah, so I'm not really at the moment. I think we'd have to survive. If it could get that down to there, then I think we'd have to kind of probably survive a whole bunch of choppiness to prove that we're bearish again. Because right now, there's like just market doesn't want to trade down here. So, but that's my take. Obviously, you know what you're doing. So, I think I'm more conservative in this time, especially considering how bullish Nasdaq or Dow Jones is as well. Dow slips under to sweep, but no signs of bearishness yet. Let me see if my camera, if this won't kill my stream again. Okay, let's see here. Would a Nas short-term buy at 19,800 be interesting? If I'm looking for a buy, it's going to be with Dow again. Look at the difference in structure. So our Dow buy played out really nice over here, which I think you guys can still hold. Remember my exit originally is over here. And then Nas, I guess, we can see how the market kind of turns around, but 19,800. Omar, are you talking in? Oh, you're in the buys. Fire. Are you talking? What are you talking about? NQ prices or CFDs? So look at this. This is going nicely. I think Nas is targeting this liquidity. Cabo, are you in Dow or Nas buys, like YM or NQ buys? CFD price. So yeah, the issue with CFD prices is it's different for every broker, especially with indices. It's just a mess with CFD prices. Futures prices with indices are just all the same. Nice and easy. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep running this, and I think the Dow liquidity sweep is gonna be what goes on over here. So when Nas starts to approach these equal highs, that's when I'd say cut your trade short or take your profits on Dow. Word. All right, so y'all got Australian setups, CAD, USD CAD shorts. USD CHF is ripping, so I'm not chilling on this bad boy. Nothing to do there. USD JPY chilling as well. Actually, there was a higher time frame setup on USD JPY. Kind of got this little 4 hour thing going on here. Gonna wait and see how this unfolds. Would love to short this huge ass buy that we have over here. NQ longs, nice. Yeah, you guys, if you're trading CFDs, like you have to know, just look at the prices there and trade those prices. Like you can't look at all the other ones, and you can't use other data feeds prices for your trading. That will not work for you. Cool. NQ, nice. Capital looking real cozy today, huh? Okay. Gold, I haven't actually looked at anything with gold in the last day or two. Our short, did I talk about this on this or was it before I went? No, this was on, actually, yeah. I think I talked about this. No, it was on Go Live. It was one of my last days on Go Live. We caught the last sell-off on gold and it's dropped now about, I think, 1,500 pips. Sheesh. got silver. Silver buys? Nah. I don't know. Yeah, we had a huge dump right here. Big dump. But how good is this? How good are these higher highs? So we trade above here. How long did we trade up here for? Let's see. We're trading above here for what, an hour or so? 2 hours? Okay, that's not terrible. Okay, I can kind of see it. I see it. Don't get me wrong, I see it. Sweep liquidity into imbalance. Actually, this is not bad. I'm picking up what you're putting down, for sure. And the drop specifically had the intention of sweeping like a majority of April's price action. Rebalances in here. Yeah, you know what? I do like this setup. Cool. Yeah, this could be nice. And this thing just starts to melt here. Decent. Very decent. I would look to take a buy on this. We've seen quite a bit of reversals. A lot of demand over here. Less is the last point of supply. So buys in this range look solid. So if you wanted to open up and just kind of narrow down your entry, I would say you guys can probably look for an entry somewhere in here. Are sells on NASDAQ still valid? Yeah. Yeah, I like the sells on NASDAQ. But up here. And then I'm going to take this. I'm not going to take this too far. Up here, I like the short. All right, and then we got silver plays here. And then the more you narrow down the time frame, you can kind of see right over here. It started to drop, hit some support, another drop, and then it rips. So closer to this zone, I think, is where you can get a decent buy setup on silver. For sure. So I'm going to have an alert here for when it gets to there. Guys, remember, stay on the lookout. If you want to know when the free community is going to drop, then definitely make sure you're on the lookout for the IG post later. And then appreciate all of you guys that are hitting the like button, doing all that stuff, getting the channel more traction. We're picking up here. This is going to be basically the run. All right, so one sec. I'm going to give you guys something so that you guys can, if you want to just kind of be in the know with everything that we're going to be doing here with Tradetopia, and you want to get some freebies, then check this out. Yeah, that NQ buy is cooking. All right, click that right there. Click that link, and then you guys will be locked in here. All right, so NAS pushing. If personally, I'm out of longs now. I would be out of longs. You guys know, obviously, I got scammed right here, but for whatever reason, limit didn't play out. Seeing how NASDAQ is pushing here, I think we're in position or I'm going to be taking a short. Obviously, you guys do whatever you want. But yeah, my sells, I'm like 20 points away from shorting. yeah, what a trade, dude. What a trade here. Yeah, so sick. And this is what happens. Like, there's certain, depending on how the market's giving us the volatility, the market conditions, you know, you're not going to get huge trades like this all the time. You don't need them. But when it's right, it's right. It works on IG now. Nice. You're in. You're in what? You're in NASDAQ sells hard? Or you're in... What are you talking about? Did you take your trade a little earlier? Interesting. Nas, yes. Oh, okay. Why'd you take it now? I mean, nice. Good for you. It's dropping, but why'd you take it just in the imbalance and not in the where the market sweeps the high? Simon, I'm in your free community. No. You're not yet. There was a beta that I leaked at the start of the zone. I don't know. Well, I guess my zone started up here, but nice. This is a good liquidity sweep, imbalance fill. The market's now losing some momentum. I don't know if this is going to be the drop. I think this is the initial, just the rebalancing. But I think it still has to come back up and mitigate where we saw a nice little push from here. But you're saying once you're in the imbalance zone. Okay, cool. All right, so remember tomorrow you got NFP, and then let me go past silver. Take a look at natural gas. Natural gas. What is natural gas doing? Slowly working its way higher. For those of you that trade energy markets, you got natural gas up here. So maybe tomorrow, maybe NFP gets it up here. Actually, hold on, it's Thursday. Isn't there usually natural gas news Thursdays? One sec. Energy. Natural gas storage. Awaiting delayed data. Okay. So yeah, that should, maybe that gets us up into this zone. So natural gas, take a look at that, guys. Zoom out a little bit. There's this April 14th price action that's playing out there. And then Mexican peso, I don't got anything going on there. Sol, Sol with a nice setup. Nice little liquidity sweep, imbalance, rebalancing here. Oh baby, that's good. That's a good chart. Ether is all right. Sol is looking better. Yeah, definitely, guys. Definitely take a look at Sol. For those of you that trade crypto, whether it's margin, futures, whatever. Yeah, peep this bad boy. Got an alert here. Under 145. Very nice. Cool. And that brings us all the way back. So last thing I got here, we had oil bleed out, play out of this, and then oil right now is starting to kind of create a new structure. So gonna let oil confirm what exactly it wants to do, but I may be looking for longs in oil later on. All right. Take a look at this, guys. Okay, so to wrap up here, Dow, big drop right now. Big drop. Did a little bit of this. little push up, down. We could see, so you see how price action now has kind of shifted. We're seeing Dow with a lot more bearish momentum versus NASDAQ that's still kind of pushing along here. So, I think we could get a, you see Dow kind of play out of this little candle and then have that maybe at the same time play out with NASDAQ up over here. Entonces, chicos, aquí creo que podemos ver, digamos, una venta con Nasdaq por aquí arriba y quizás Dow Jones también reaccionando en esta velita por aquí. ES ran the high and playing off the 1 minute inverted fair value gap. Sick. All right, that's NAS. So I'd say with NAS here, this already triggered my entry. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a nice little stop here. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here. So that triggered me in. Sick. All right, beautiful. So it's playing off of here pretty well already, very quickly. You guys are seeing the way the market pushed up was about 22 points. We're already getting a drop like that. So let me get to the 15-second here. The market quickly rejecting and playing off that level. You saw the big move down. So in my opinion, this drop that we saw initially here, this was that kind of mitigation. So this just reacted so fast. I think it's just going to kind of break above this, to be honest. It looks like that's where the market wanted to short, in my opinion. So we did get the little exchange of money. Maybe it holds up and we get another drop. But as you guys can see here, just based on the way that it pushed up, came back down. However, now Dow got to here. And I think, as was mentioned, this is what I wanted to see, though. I wanted to see the market get to this little push up with Dow, and then I think the market could drop. So, okay, here we go. So now we're seeing it fall off. If we see this continue to work its way down with NASDAQ, then I think it could play out. But I think the better trade at this point, because of literally price action right now, it looked like Dow was more ready for the drop. So you're seeing how we're already getting a bit more of a bearish, it's slipping down further faster. So yeah, looking at the way that this is moving, we're getting, it's in profit. But what I will say is that I am going to start to tighten up my stop so that we can, don't have to lose too much if it does decide to come back. So I am tightening my stop here. Let's see if we can work our way through. Right now it's having a hard time breaking below this structure. And then, but what we saw with this drop was, this is a good drop. We saw the move, talked about 24, 25 points. For me, this is the exchange of money. So do I want it to go down more? Sure. But if it's not going to, then it's not going to. So I'm not going to force the market to, I'm not going to stay in a trade that just because I want to. Because I think, it's got to drop. Like, not necessarily, So at this point, I have a reduced risk. So I moved my stop from here to here. So now I save myself about 7-8 points. Worst case scenario, instead of losing a 1R, I'm losing like 0.7R if it decides to just keep going. And then, that's where I'm at with NAS. If it does go our way, then I want to take this down to where we had kind of that last push down over here. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns around. And otherwise, if it doesn't, then it doesn't. let's see here right now, and boom. So I took a small loss on this one, and then that's it. Nothing else I'm gonna do here. That's a wrap for me with NASDAQ. Took a small loss. Some of you, I know you moved your stop to break even, so maybe some of you just went break even. So today, to recap, we had the Dow Jones buy that went 5.8R. We had then a NASDAQ reduced loss, and that's it. So that's it for me with this so far. What I will say is keep in mind that you do have some higher time frame setups going on as well, way back over here. So I mean, I could just zoom in on this if I want to real quick to show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. This is from, I think, March. Let's see, right over here. So yeah, this is in March. There's a chance we play out of this. In March, we had this move here, big sweep to the upside before the market worked its way down. We haven't got to this at this point, so to go to the 4 hour, this is where the market's kind of sitting at now, or it's about to be. Right over there. Got close and then it melted away, so maybe you don't want to take this and just this is already played out. But if you get some more small time frame shifts in momentum, then you can go for it over here. So yeah, that's about it. Now, to me, it looks pretty clear that whether it's NASDAQ, whether it's Dow, however this one ends up playing out, we might have a better buying opportunity down over here where we got all this chaos. So, bullish. All right, cool. All right, guys. Good stuff. Let me go into the chat. In it, trying to scalp a small buy on Dow, but doesn't want to retrace. Okay, in at half risk, break even with NAS. Perfect. Cool. To wrap, and then I think the last thing, I know AUD/USD was starting to approach the entry. Looks like it kind of just missed it. Yeah, it didn't quite trigger in yet. Still pending on that. And then looks like NASDAQ did though. So NASDAQ rejected, or not NASDAQ, NZD rejected and came up. So I feel like we'll get another move down. Anyways, stay alert. Click this link right here. So check us out, guys. If you guys want to be in the loop when the official free community launches, click that link right there. And then if you guys made anything today with this massive Dow Jones buy, then let your boy know. Drop a testimonial. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see how you guys are learning. You guys are seeing this happen in real time. So there's that link as well. And then, you know, big things coming, guys. Massive things coming. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for NFP. So it'll be I'll schedule it right now, so you guys can get the alert on when I go live. So what we can do is this. Let's do this here real quick. All right. So I'll talk to y'all. I'll answer any other questions before I go if you guys have anything you want to ask. Psychology, resources wise, whatever. Then feel free to do that while I schedule it here. I want to make sure you guys can be up to date for the NFP session that we'll be doing tomorrow. All right, schedule stream, connection. NFP exclusive. What's the date tomorrow? May 2nd? Sick. Oh, Nas would want to drop now, huh? The audacity. Alright, so I'll be live probably around like 7:15 tomorrow. Cool. Alright guys, so here is the link to that stream. Go ahead, share that around. Alright, here we go. Alright, so basically click this link and then hit the notification so you guys can get the alert on once I start to go live there. Do you like funded or live account more? I mean, live account you just get more liberty anyways. Falta español en las entradas. Pues les dije en español. Les dije exactamente las compras, las ventas. Pero pues ahí voy a mejorar, ¿ok? Voy a mejorar. Alright guys. Go touch some grass or something. Peace.